Greetings everybody, my name is Brendan and welcome to another video, a vlog if you like. This is specifically for a certain player who wants to do a presentation talk to some heads of departments. So here I am talking about what they want to presentate in the talk. So these are just ideas, I don't know whether you'll show the video or not, but these are just ideas that my own personal experience and to give that person also an idea on what to say, really. So they're doing a presentation about autism and sensory. Now, whether the sensory being a disorder or sensory being just sensors, I'll get into that in a little while, but autism, that's the biggest topic I can talk about because what better person to ask than yourself? I'll ask you what autism is. What is autism? You as an Ortcraft player, you who have autism yourself, tell me about autism. You tell me the experiences. You tell me the difficulties that you've overcome to get to this point. What do you struggle with? What sort of fears, so to speak, do you face? What's your processing? How do you think about things? Do you process information quickly or do you process it slowly? What about the ability to socialise with autism? I know that's a very, very big thing in the autism community, is to socialise. Socialisation for me, throughout school, was very, very difficult because not only I was constantly being, verbally abused constantly. There was never a rest of it. Constantly abused. Said nasty things. What they even threw things at me. But that's not important. The important thing is socialising. How difficult do you find socialising? Is it easy for you? Do you find making friends easy? But in the situations that you've made a friend, this situation comes up and you don't have to deal with it, and and you feel like friends maybe are a bit of a burden on you, perhaps, and you actually find yourself you want to be alone. So that's the other end. What if you find making friends difficult, that they do end up being a burden, or they do end up being something that you find quite challenging because you don't quite know how to deal with it? That's another thing to think about, is socialisation. That's a massive thing in the autism community. And another thing is to not be afraid, really. I was trying to think of another way to word it. Is how insecure do you feel when it comes to members of staff, perhaps? Let's put this better. How would you feel if a member of staff's in the classroom with you? Do you feel more safe? That's obviously what they aim to do in the first place, but you feel more safe. They give you security. They give you, a way to assure yourself, I suppose. And that's a good thing, and that's something that maybe you need to think about. But one thing about autism, you should sell yourself. You should always sell yourself. That's what I'm constantly told, and what I understand myself. Whenever you go to a job interview, sell yourself. Sell yourself. Tell them what they want to hear. Tell them the truth. Don't lie. Don't make it up. Tell the truth about yourself. So do that in this presentation. Tell them about yourself. So that's a brilliant way to start. Yeah? So start your presentation with, hello, my name is... But you don't need to say the age, because they'll probably know about the age. They'll probably say, yeah, we know what age you are. So just tell them your name. And I'm here to talk about autism and sensory. Or if it's, a bit more specific with sensory, I'm here to talk about Asperger's syndrome and sensory disorder. These are my specialities, or maybe not quite go as far as that because you've not quite done the research. So don't over-exaggerate. So don't say it's your speciality, because that's not really, it's not your speciality. Autism, though, that's your speciality. I mean, I don't know as your person, so I don't know what you understand, I might not understand. So please, whatever you understand, say it. Whatever you think you understand about sensory doesn't mean it's wrong. So don't worry about it being wrong. Don't worry about people saying autism isn't that, because that's going to happen. There's going to be people saying autism isn't that, or sensory problems isn't that, when it's your own personal experience that's gone through that. There isn't anything to define autism, because there's so many different things out there with autism. There's so many different people. Every single autistic person is different, and they offer something different. They are completely different. They are not one set of skills. They are not one set of this. They're not a copy of somebody else. They are completely different people, and they have the skills, and they're very bright people. You can see them sat on the table maybe struggling, tapping or making noises, or really struggling with what they're doing. Don't laugh at them. Encourage them. They need to try the best. Tell them to try the best. Put 100% in, because it's so important, especially when you're at school. I see so many people give up, and I know it's so easy to give up. I do know it's very easy to give everything in when you're constantly being bullied. You're told you're no good, but then you get the encouragement of teachers, and I know this is everywhere. The world isn't, perfect, and I know a lot of schools don't deal with bullying like they should do. And if they don't, perhaps find another school, because what's most important, you don't go every single day being miserable. You need to plan your day, and if it's not possible to relocate, you just got to do the best you can. It's the only thing any person could say, and the only person who has the power to do anything, to say anything, is you. They can't force words out for you. They can come up with suggestions for what you can say, like I'm doing now. They'll never force anything out of you. You must follow your heart. It sounds cringy, but you must follow your heart. You must follow your dreams, your aspirations. What you're going to do next is the most important thing. Like, people still think insulting me bothers me. It doesn't bother me, and I can tell you that. I'm not just saying that in hope that you're not going to say anything. I genuinely don't care, and your comments will be deleted. Because I don't care. Like, you're not wanted on the channel. The people who are wanted on this channel are the people who want to learn, the people who strive to improve. And that doesn't automatically knock you out if you don't do any of them things. You're a fantastic person nonetheless. And we're a community together. Orcraft is a community I will always stand up for. I will always be here for Orcraft. I will stand up, and I will stand up for autism, because I so agree it needs to be said. My personal experience of autism is much different to your experience with autism, or maybe it's the same. But I'm not going to sit here and say it's wrong. Your version's wrong. My version's different. Or ever argue an opinion, because your opinion would be much different to my opinion. And so on and so on. You see where I'm coming from? This is getting a bit off track now. This is getting more general instead of what I was actually talking about. But I thought it was important to get that out there. But so you're coming in with your presentation. You're going to say all these things. You're going to introduce yourself. So you're going to start off with autism. See, the only thing that I would say about winging it is, just going in, doing it from memory, then going home. Like I say, it's dedication, but also it becomes... This is my own personal experience again. I find when I wing stuff, I get a sensory overload. My mind just can't cope. It can't process that much information all at once. It's so much to talk about. Especially, it's not a problem now. It's when it's in a group, a massive crowd of people, I must prepare. It's so important. I must prepare, otherwise I'm just going to fail. I need to try before I go in. But that's me differently. But like I said, I wasn't always that way. And let's talk about sensory disorder. Sensory is a processing disorder, really, if that's what it is you're talking about. It's a condition in which the brain has trouble receiving and responding information that comes through senses. So that means whatever you touch, you feel, maybe smell, it's, what your instinct, basically. It's what we're born with, or should be born with, and some people find it very difficult. So it's processing your environment around you. It's understanding and the ability to touch, to hear, to smell, to taste maybe. But they are important things, and that is something that you need to say massively in that presentation. Please, please do think about saying it, because I'm sick of people not understanding it. Autism is not one word, even though it is. So let's word this as if you're going to put this in the presentation. There's lots of different forms of autism. Autism isn't just a word. Autism has lots of people. Every single autistic person goes to a different time. Every autistic person is different. There isn't one. They're not defined by the word autism. So I think that's important. They're not defined by the word autism. They are very different. So we can say that. So it's nothing complicated. You're not defined. Autistic people are not defined by the word autism. They are defined when you see them. But when I say when you see them, you should never define somebody, because that is just, you can't do that. You can't define anybody, because that what kind of person does that make you? Even if it's a positive definition, if you think it's such a positive definition, then okay, it's positive, but still it's a definition about someone else. It's someone else's perspective. It's someone else's view of the world, and So I urge you to mention that, and like I said, I don't know an awful lot about sensory, so don't make me go too much into that. Like, sensory is a problem for a lot of people. I presume they go through different things as well. Like every other difficulty, they go through a lot of things as well. So I'll leave that there. Like I said, autism is what I know, and autism is probably what you know. It's what you dealt with. It's just like when you're at a younger age, especially me. When I was at a younger age, I didn't quite understand autism. I never took it on board to actually take in this information on how I was dealing with said situation. So I actually sort of just blew it over my head and sort of didn't think about it, and just sort of sat and needed help. When in reality, I should have sat back and thought, this is how I've dealt with it. This is me. Like, sort of make like a little profile of yourself, not in a negative way. Don't start being negative about yourself. Make like a little portfolio in your head about who you are. This is what your strengths and weaknesses are, and you'll find when you do all that sort of stuff, it's planning ahead again. Like, you can't get around life winging stuff. It's just, it will not work. Trust me, take it from me. I never go to an interview without practicing first. I never go to an interview without practicing first. I know you're only at a young age, but it's still very important. You put as much effort in as you can, because it's got me a long way. Effort's got me a very long way, and respect goes a very long way. So if you show them in the presentation respect, and if you show them your understanding, they're not looking for this big TED Talk professional. They're just looking for a young lad doing his best, who's done the research, and I think you're good to go. I think that's pretty much all I need to say within this video. So I guess thank you for coming along and listening. If any questions, shoot me a personal message, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But I do hope it's helped you in regards to the presentation and helping you as a person. I always want to help people improve and get better. So, I'll leave it there. So, the ball's in your court, mate. The ball's in your court. So you need to make sure that you don't have to make sure. You just have to ensure that whatever's said here is understood. And, like I say, you don't go off what I've just said. Don't go by me and say, this person said that, this person said. Do it your own perspective. What better person to ask than someone else with autism is the most important thing you need to remember. You've got autism, so tell them about your experience, not my experience, because my experience will be different to yours. So it's up to you. So I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.